If you have ever experienced severe pain, you know you will do almost anything to get relief. Opioid prescriptions are pain relievers, and our country has been ravaged by an opioid crisis. Who is responsible for this crisis? Pharmaceutical companies should be held accountable for harm caused by the opioid crisis because they misrepresented their drugs, caused addiction and death, and they profited from the crisis for years. Prescription opioid pills were originally created as pain medication for cancer patients. But after aggressive marketing and misrepresenting data, the pharmaceutical companies made the argument that opioids were safe for non-cancer patients too. They claimed that the medications were not addictive and that they lasted for 12 hours. However, there's a high risk of addiction and dependency, and the medication was only effective for 4 to 8 hours max. Because healthcare providers thought that the risk of dependency was low, doctors not only prescribed opioid medication to millions of patients, but when patients started having more pain after a few hours, the doctors would up their dose or prescribe another opioid medication to hold them over until the next dose. These adjustments in treatment created more dependency and addiction in the users of these medications. So because of their misrepresentation, more people were irresponsibly prescribed the drugs that led to the start of the opioid crisis. When stricter regulations on prescribing opioids went into effect, many dependent users were left out to dry without a detox assistance or any plan. So many people turned to illegal street drugs like heroin. Due to the street drugs not being consistently made and regulated, the overdose risk is much higher than opioid prescriptions. In a report called Combating the Opioid Crisis, Mandelson states 3 out of 4 heroin users started by taking prescription opioids. Meanwhile, the pharmaceutical companies profited off of the millions of opioid prescription-dependent patients. Between 2000 and 2018, pharmaceutical companies had significantly greater profits than other large public companies during that same time. These companies raked in the money while the patients paid, some with their lives. From the creation of opioids to the opioid epidemic of today, pharmaceutical companies have misrepresented the benefits and adverse effects of their drugs while persistently marketing the drug to healthcare providers. This not only made them a significant profit, but it had harmful effects on many of those who were prescribed the opioids. Their intentional misinformation has made people drug dependent and has taken lives from overdose. By holding the companies accountable for the crisis left in their wake, we can prevent history from repeating itself and ensure companies cannot lie without consequence.